Hey guys, Kaylee here, and today I'm going to show you how to cure split ends forever. Now, if you've been on YouTube or Pinterest at all looking for remedies for split ends, you've probably seen some crazy masks out there. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you're never going to be able to put split ends back together. They are never, ever getting back together. So stop trying to make it happen with weird, crazy masks. Moisturizing your hair with a mask is going to be great for keeping it from splitting because moisturized hair doesn't split as easily. Also, when you moisturize your hair, it can kind of hide the look of frizz and therefore probably seem like it's hiding the look of split ends. So masks are great in their place, but they're not going to get rid of split ends forever. Sadly, the only real way to get rid of split ends is to cut them. However, I'm not saying that your only option in life is to go into the hairstylist every time you see a split end. I've been trying something new over the past couple of months that's actually worked really well for me. It's a way to kind of maintain your hair between your haircuts so that you can keep split ends at bay and not have to go get your hair cut quite as often. Before we get into this, if you are one of my younger viewers, get your parents' permission to get them to watch this video before you try this. So basically, my method is to cut your own split ends at home. Cut off just the damaged ends, and by doing that, you keep the damage from traveling up your hair before you get your next haircut. So this is what I do once a month. First, I take a look at my ends and see how they're doing. Now, if you look down and almost all of your ends are split, it's time for a haircut. Honestly, if you look down and your ends look like mine do right now, it's time for a haircut. Because once they get really wispy like this, just trimming off split ends isn't going to make everything look really nice and put together again. You should just go ahead and go get a haircut. That way you can start from scratch and start this routine on nice, fresh ends. But if you look down and you're seeing like 10, 15 split ends, we're in business. So the first thing that I do is I just take a look, and at the very ends, like literally the very tips of my hair, I will cut off like less than 1/8 of an inch, like the tiniest bit, just to give myself some new ends, just in case the very tips of this are getting a little bit tired. See, I'm really not doing much. You can't even see me losing length at all. I can't see me losing length at all. Then we're gonna target the split ends. So I take the ends in my hand and I just kind of fray them out. You can do this in sections if you have more hair than I do. And if you see any split ends, you're just gonna go ahead and just snip them right over where you see the split. So I make sure to isolate each little bit so that I don't cut more hair than I mean to. I am very careful about this because it's easy to go all crazy and just like start chopping at your hair, but that's not gonna end well. So just go through and very carefully cut just the split ends. But when you do this, you're gonna keep the damage from traveling up your hair, so that piece of hair can keep getting longer, so hopefully eventually you have nice thick ends, which is I think what we're all going for, is nice thick long hair. My ends already, like running my hand over is already so much smoother. Alright, so the next thing that you wanna do is look at the hair that frames your face. So any little shorter face framing hairs, these are usually the most damaged ends on anybody's hair. So you want to go ahead and pull those forward and take a look for some split ends there. Ooh, that one has 4 split ends. That's like a split end on a split end on a split end. Bye! The final thing that we're going to do is actually look for split ends in here, because sometimes hair will break off, you know, when we're styling it, because a hair elastic pulls on it, something like that, and you'll have a broken end in here that's split, and that hair is never going to get really long because that damage is traveling up. So what we want to do is find the split ends inside of here and kind of like do a rescue mission so that we keep the damage from traveling up and those shorter hairs can eventually grow nice and long like the rest of our hair. So the first thing is to twist the hair, and then I just kind of like run my hand backwards so that all the little short hairs poke out. Then I look for split ends on the ends of those short hairs, and if I see any, I cut them off. Really careful not to go crazy, because sometimes when I see like lots and lots of ends, I'm like, you gotta cut them all, but no, you don't. Also, you want to make sure that you're kind of like rotating it so that there's no little ends hiding somewhere where you can't see. Alright, then once you've done that, you can twist it again in the other direction because probably more will still pop up. So now I have a couple little tips that will hopefully help you do this as well as possible. First, just do it once a month. Do not go more than that because it can be easy to get a little bit scissor crazy and start cutting more than you need to. You might even think like, oh, I can give myself a trim, or oh, I can give myself a haircut. Nah, because you can really mess up your haircut and then you can end up losing more hair when your stylist has to go fix it. Don't do that. Just do it once a month, just cut the dead ends. Which does lead me to number 2, cut as little as possible. I have a feeling a lot of you guys will be on that train because a lot of you guys are trying to preserve your length. But just in case you feel the need to get a little scissor crazy, say no. Just say no. Tip number 3, do this after deep conditioning your hair. That way it helps to kind of calm down the frizz, moisturize your hair as much as possible so you can see the ends that actually need to be cut off and you're not going crazy on ends that just need a little bit of moisture. Number 4, use sharp scissors. If you have a nice pair of sharp scissors, I would use those over more blunt scissors. Of course, use them safely. If you are young, make sure that you have a parent helping you. But the reason for that is that the sharp scissors are gonna create a nice clean edge on your hair, whereas blunt ones are going to leave the hair just a tiny bit frayed. It's not going to be split or anything, but it is more prone to splitting when you cut your hair with blunt scissors versus sharp scissors. Tip number 5, this does not replace a haircut. What this method is for is to help keep your ends looking good and healthy in between haircuts. And it can help you go longer in between haircuts. You know, a lot of people say you see split ends, you need to go to the hairstylist immediately. Well, that might happen after 2 months or after 3 months. Whereas with doing this kind of maintenance on your hair, you can go longer because your split ends are not like multiplying as quickly. For me personally, I've gone 6 months. It's time for me to get a haircut to reshape everything so that my face framing is framing my face, so that my ends look nice and uniform. But I don't have to go because I have like a bazillion split ends, which is normally what happens after 5 or 6 months. So normally after 5 or 6 months, I have to chop off like inches of hair because it's super damaged. But now, because of what I've been doing, I really only have to cut off, you know, just the little wispies. So this definitely is great for maintaining your hair. It just doesn't replace a haircut. So that's it for this video. It was kind of a long video just to say cut your split ends off, but I wanted to make sure that I was thorough, that I gave you guys a good way to do it without going crazy. So hopefully this video gave you the information that you needed. Be safe, be careful, don't go crazy. Still go to your hairstylist. They do good work. They are trained professionals, but this will help keep your hair up in between. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you in my next one. Mwah. Bye.